Hello, welcome to Laboratory Tuesdays. Today we are in the lab creating something new in your life and business, and we're going to be talking about sugar. And I don't know if you know my story, but I was initially drawn to nutrition because I suffered from an eating disorder for over a decade. I was a dancer growing up. I had to look at my little body in the mirror, and when I hit puberty, I didn't understand why I had a couple more lumps and bumps than my little tiny toothpick friends. Hey Erin, I'm going to mention you in this video today. I didn't understand why I had more lumps and bumps than my little toothpick friends. So I took my nutrition in my own hands, and it looked a lot like not eating anything. And I remember one time I passed out in basketball practice and hit my head off the wall and threw up blood. And that still wasn't enough for me to be like, this is fucked up. Anyway, I realized through finally reconnecting with myself that the disordered eating, and disordered eating has many faces. It can be you eat too much, it can be you eat too little, it can be you're eating for the wrong reasons, because the real reason we eat is to nourish this body machine, right? So that is all disordered eating. The reason for my disordered eating, that was not the problem, that was the symptom. And that is the same for any self-mutilation, right? That's not the actual problem. It's a symptom of an internal issue. And my internal issue was I was disconnected from my physical body. I was disconnected from my soul. I couldn't hear my intuition. I couldn't hear that guiding voice saying, hey, you're going to be okay. And I also had really low self-esteem. And even now, after years of working on this, I still find that in moments of stress, even if it has nothing to do with my body or food, I want to lean on controlling what I eat. My first idea will be like, I'll get skinny and then I'll feel a lot better. So this is going to be a continual process forever. And yes, today's video is about sugar, but really this is the more important conversation, that if you are plagued by cravings, which sucks, like why do you want your day to be dictated by when you eat and what you eat? That feels like shit. I felt like a prisoner. That's a humongous distraction. That is so you can play small and you can worry about your thigh gap and you can worry about your size pants and you can worry about when you're going to eat your next cupcake. Those are distractions, so you don't have the time, the energy, the space, the creativity to focus on things that really matter, like things that are really fun and bring you joy in your life and that make you feel purposeful and change the world for the better. So sugar. Sugar is a drug. It is as addictive as cocaine and heroin, if not more addictive. I read a statistic once that a study found that sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine, and we eat it every single day. That's pretty dangerous. We feed it to our children every single day. That's pretty dangerous. So it would help to understand it a little bit more. So our bodies, most of the processes within our bodies, down to the internal processes, but also our moods and how we actually feel, they are dictated by chemical messengers called hormones. And sugar affects our hormones. And if you are interested in how powerful hormones are and how much they make you feel like yourself, be interested in certain things, have motivation, etc., watch the This American Life podcast episode on testosterone. It is insane. They play with levels of testosterone. They have a couple different guests come on who have experiences with testosterone levels, and their identity is completely different. So please understand the power of hormones and watch the This American Life episode on testosterone. That's a podcast. So sugar messes with a very important hormone called insulin. And insulin communicates with a lot of other hormones within the body too. So when we eat sugar, it spikes our insulin, and that, because our hormone is messed with, everything else feels out of whack. So maybe right now, sugar is only affecting your cravings and maybe making you feel bloated and maybe making you feel like a bit jittery and unfocused at work. But because you are a holistic organism, everything in your body is in communication. Eventually it's going to catch up with you and you're going to feel even more symptoms than that. So you may not be able to sleep, you may get acne, you may gain weight, you may lose your creative connection. So that is why we care about sugar. We want to feel our best so we can show up our best. And sugar is an awesome place to start. So I don't even know how many tips. I think we have 6. So the first step to really what we're talking about today is reconnecting to our physical body. So remember I said that my issue with food wasn't really food. It was that I wasn't connected to my physical body, I wasn't connected to my spiritual body, and I had low self-esteem. So today we're talking about connecting to your physical body. The first step in one of my tips today is to drink more water. We talk about that in every single stinking video. Have you figured it out yet? So a very typical process is we feel uncomfortable, whether that be we're bored, we're annoyed, we're anxious, we want to distract ourselves from a job that we don't want to do. That's when we get a craving, right? Because we're like, how can I get out of what I'm doing right now? Let me eat some sugar. Instead, let's create a new habit. Let's instead drink some water. And I would also say add 10 squat jumps. Doesn't seem like a lot, but 10 squat jumps is a lot. And you're gonna look crazy, and that is okay, but it is worth it. So we're gonna create a new connection within the brain for when you're just uncomfortable, you're instead gonna do something productive instead of reaching for sugar. This is helpful for 2 reasons. 1, maybe we'll get some more water in your bod. 2, you'll do some squat jumps and get strong buns. But 3, most importantly, you'll create a new connection. Discomfort means I need to get present and I need to figure out what's up instead of I need to get disconnected and go stuff my face with sugar. So my friend Erin Bryant, she's a hypnotherapist, she says, move a muscle, change your mind. So instead of every time we're just uncomfortable, instead of relying on something that we're gonna stuff in our face, let's instead move a muscle and allow ourselves to change our mind. So drink water, and drink a gallon of water every day. 2, don't start your day with carbohydrates. If you know that you crave bread all day, do not start your first meal with a processed carb meal. Many people have waffles or pancakes or toast with their breakfast, and then they wonder why that's all that they can think about all day. If you know that you have an issue with carbs, don't start your first meal with that. I would suggest that you eat a protein, a fat, and or veggies. So I like to start my day with eggs and an avocado. Keeps me full for a long time. The healthy fats, which we're going to talk about in a minute, those satiate that need for immediate energy, which is really what we're searching for when we eat the processed sugar and the processed carbs. We're looking for a spike of energy. So eggs and avocado for breakfast, or some other form of healthy protein, healthy fat, and veggies. Next, eat healthy fats, like we just mentioned. So many times our sugar craving is really our body craving more healthy fats. So that could be avocado, raw nuts, salmon. Get some healthy fats into your diet. We are not afraid of fats. In fact, fats will lubricate your insides and help you lose more weight. So specifically coconut oil, this is a trick that I teach all of my clients. If they're craving sugar, it's really hard to wait it out, right? You want something now. So if you're gonna stick something in your mouth right away, I suggest you eat a teaspoon or a tablespoon of coconut oil. Sounds pretty gross. You're gonna get over it and it's gonna be okay. And maybe you're gonna hate it so much that you're just not even gonna get sugar cravings anymore. But coconut oil contains medium chain triglycerides, and they are sent immediately to the liver and utilized for energy. So instead of eating a piece of chocolate where you're like, oh, I need an energy boost, you can instead eat your coconut oil, and then your insulin is never affected. Your blood sugar does not spike. You do not have a high and then a crash. It's all a win all around. You got your energy, you skipped over the craving because now your body is sated from the healthy fat instead. And 3, I can't remember what the 3 is. Next, this is our last tip. Refuse to eat when you are stressed out. So like we were talking about with this testosterone, when we are flooded with stress hormones, we are literally a different person. Do not rely on yourself to make good decisions when you are stressed out. Also, if you watched last week's video on digestion, which also is a very good way to get rid of your cravings, so I suggest that you check out the 5 ways to heal your gut and improve digestion from last week. When you are stressed out and you eat, all of your energy is diverted to that stress and it's no longer available for digestion. So that food is just gonna sit in your gut and you're gonna get bloated and you're gonna get really tired because you don't have energy to digest the food. You might get gassy, all of which we do not want. Also, when we are stressed, because we are a different person, we are just seeking to heal that discomfort, just like in point number 1. So that's when we start trying to fill that void with sugar, because when we eat sugar, we get a serotonin rush, and that makes us feel happy and loved. So you do that a couple times with cupcakes and with sugar, your body remembers like, oh, I remember if I eat that, I'm gonna get like a little tiny high. But the thing is, you get used to it, like with any drug, and you're gonna need 14 cupcakes one day to get that little tiny serotonin high. So instead, let the stress bypass. I suggest you meditate, watch a funny video, laugh, look out the window. It can be a 2-minute process, but just make sure you calm down before making a food choice so you can spoon feed this to yourself and make it as easy as possible. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I am here for you, and I will see you next week for our next Laboratory Tuesday.